But yeah, in the present moment, how would you consider that you're leading your own way?
Well, the way I'm leading my own way is to face challenges that I haven't really faced before. I've always been a very sensitive person, you would say an empathic person, and I came to my 50s and I thought I hadn't done a great deal in my life. I was quite dissatisfied, but that's a journey for me to challenge myself to change things. And there has been a bit of forwards and backs, re-evaluating, but that's only natural. And I do feel each step I'm going through, I'm becoming stronger, and I realise that I can really help other people as well, to get some hope and to give them some relaxation as well.
Yeah. So what are some of the challenges that you're going through? Well, I mean, you're doing a few different things at the moment, aren't you? You're in Glasgow. Sorry, we should actually probably share that you're based in Glasgow, Scotland.
Yeah,
You've lived there your entire life, haven't you?
yeah, 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 yeah.
What do you do professionally at the moment then?
I'm a care worker. I work in a care home with people with, mainly everybody has dementia. I've done that for 33 years. I've always done jobs helping people or service based in some way, but I'd also wanted to do more. You can't maybe get a lot of feedback necessarily from people with dementia. They can't really, relay a lot back to you. So I thought I want to do something else, but through my own journey, I'd learned Reiki, later learned to do it in other people, and then on my own I learned EFT, and I started learning NLP, learned so much of it, and then decided something wasn't right. I thought, what's going on here? But then I realised I wanted to develop more my spiritual side to challenge me even more, because I'm very analytical as a person. So I did a course, not that long finished it, still a bit of things to tie up, to hand in for assessment. But then I've also signed up for a follow-on course. I'm a glutton for punishment. I'm wanting more of it, because I realise there is some psychic ability in me that I didn't realise was really there. I'd always been kind of frightened of psychic stuff, didn't really want anything to do with it. But it's been really interesting. It's really gave me more clarity, and it's really developed me more as a person.
What made you get into that area then? What made you open that door to the spiritual world?
Well, Reiki is considered a bit of a spiritual thing, not completely, I suppose, a kind of psychic thing, but I just felt there was something missing, something just not quite right, and I had to think about it. And when I thought about it, it just came out of the blue. I thought I wanted to develop my spiritual side more, and I didn't fully know why at the time. But I've since discovered that I think there's always been some psychic ability in me that has never been nurtured, never developed, but I'd always closed a door on it, and that's still to come more.
Mm.
But it is really where I think I'm meant to be in some shape or form, perhaps still doing analytical stuff as well, because I think that's very beneficial as well for people, but it's just something that's within me, and I think it's something that I'm doing myself a disservice if I don't keep on with it.
Yeah.
And
How?
at secondary school I was bullied for a year, so that I think that's really when it became that I thought there was a problem with me. I think I kind of blame myself in a way for being bullied, or was I not good enough as a person, or
No. No excuse to be
why
bullied.
wasn't I the same as everybody else?
What can I ask? What do you think it was that when you analyse that? Oh God, I'm married with the right family. What was different to them being all similar towards each other, but then you being completely different?
I think I just felt. I think it was just to do with my. As I'm saying, I think I've always had a bit of a psychic ability. I mean, I didn't realise it was there.
I was wondering if it was that.
I think that's what it may be.
Mm.
But I was just very, very sensitive, and I've always felt very, very, very deeply. But I've learned to protect myself from that and not take things on so much, but that took a long time. I was just very sensitive to everything because, like, remember as a teenager you can be a bit, your hormones and whatever. And I remember being told, I wasn't to, get annoyed, maybe I don't raise my voice. So I was very much like, I'd take on things what was said to me, and I'm saying, all right, I can't show anger. So I think then I started to internalise emotions, which I think can cause anxiety as well, because you're not showing your true self to the world, you're holding feelings in, you're not verbalising, and only to yourself. So I think that starts to mess with your head when you start to do that.
Were you a happy child?
Not always, mainly, but it was just to do with, I think I'd never felt dead rooted in the world, as if dead connected to the world sometimes. I'd felt a bit on the outside sometimes, so sometimes I felt some kind of disconnect. So I think that, caused that kind of bit of anxiety as well. And then it makes you want to withdraw a bit more and maybe not do certain things and just say, oh well, I want to stay in my safety zone, which obviously doesn't help you grow as a person either.
Did you have a lot of close friends?
I don't have a lot of close friends. I do have...
I meant as a child, sorry.
No, I did have friends, but not a lot of friends, because I think I was actually looked on as different to some children. But that's because, they didn't maybe have sensitivity, or I think I've always had empathy since I was a child. Mm-hmm. And I've always felt really deeply, and I think other people can. And then when you start to internalise, you start to build up a bit of a wall.
What have you been dissatisfied in your life with then, in more recent times?
I think the thing was, I realised that I've always been capable of more deep down, but fear had really held me back all my life. And I think that's because I was so sensitive. I would take on other people's energy, but I didn't, and I thought something was wrong with me, but I didn't realise that I was actually taking on the energy other people did about me. So I wasn't that good maybe with crowds or, a lot of noise or things. I could still get into places like that, but I'd feel I would withdraw a bit into myself, that I didn't feel comfortable, whereas other people maybe just walk in somewhere and like, oh, there's such and such, and just feel instantly comfortable. That wasn't the case for me generally. And I think because I'd internalised from a young age my thoughts and my feelings as well, I didn't feel I could come across as the authentic me for a long time. So that obviously was, some of the cause of anxiety in that as well. And it was not all the time. I had periods in my life where I felt fine. But then I think because I wasn't doing what I should have been doing, wasn't where I should have been, every so often that would kick in. And then you'd maybe back to that place again. And you have to go, well, for me, I had to go really deep into myself to find out what was going on, where things were coming from, and that's quite difficult. It can be quite painful, but it was necessary for me to keep moving forward, and I'm glad I did.
Where you said you felt there should have been something more. Where do you think you should have been then?
Well, I think I've always felt I've had a bit of leadership in me. I can be, I really have been a strong person at times in my life. I helped look after my dad for years, with an illness and things like that. I really have had a lot of strength at times in my life. But I think I'd always doubted that I had. But I'd always felt that I wanted to do something, and it's really helping other people. But fear would hold me back, that you can't show yourself fully to other people. I don't know, I always felt I had to hide a bit of myself, I had to put masks on for other people. And then that leads to you not fully being happy. I'd go to like soul level. I felt as if like my soul was, that I was destroying my soul because I just wasn't being who I'd always been meant to be.
Yeah.
And I do think that's generational as well. I think in my family, some of it, generations back, there has been fear. And I think I've been called to just change all this and just, break that generational thing.
What you just witnessed is only a snippet of our amazing conversation this week. This is what Leading Our Own Way is all about. Real stories, real transformation. If you're watching this before Wednesday, part 1 dropped yesterday and part 2 releases tomorrow. But if you're already here after Wednesday, all parts are available now. Head to YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts and every other major platform and look for the numbers on the bottom left-hand corner of the episode's covers to start with part 1. Trust me, you don't want to miss this incredible journey.